What is your greatest fear? The dark? The unknown? The things that go bump in the night? We're taught that 1,000,000 years ago, our ancestors ruled the earth. But what if they didn't? What if they were nothing more than prey, hunted by a creature of nightmares, a beast of fire and shadow, a dragon? This isn't a fairy tale. This is a story of survival. A story of how our ancestors, the first hominids, faced a predator that should have wiped them from existence. This is the story of how they survived. The dragon's maw. 1,000,000 years ago, the world was a wild, untamed canvas. Our ancestors, a species we call Homo Habilis, or the handyman, were just beginning to stand on their own 2 feet. They were not apex predators. They were scavengers and foragers, their days a constant struggle for food and shelter. They lived in small, tight-knit groups, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the sun and moon. They knew the dangers of the savanna, the saber-toothed cats, the giant hyenas. They had learned to live alongside them, to evade them. But then, something new arrived. Something that didn't just hunt them, it terrorized them. It came from the sky, a winged harbinger of fire and death. We don't know what it was, what it looked like in full. Legends and myths across every culture speak of them, of course. But this creature wasn't a myth. Its scales were like obsidian. Its wings stretched for miles, and from its mouth came a fire hot enough to melt stone. The dragon didn't hunt for food alone. It hunted for dominance. It burned the forests, a terrifying display of power, a clear message to all. This world belongs to me. Our ancestors didn't have spears or bows. They didn't have cities or forts. They had only their cunning, their fear, and a desperate will to survive. They learned to read the signs, the scorched earth, the smell of sulfur in the air, the long, dark shadow that preceded a reign of terror. They were no longer the hunters, they were the hunted. Survival came at a cost. They had to abandon their open camps, their daily routines. They became cave dwellers. Their lives shrunk to the darkness, venturing out only when the sun was high and the dragon was believed to be asleep. They learned to hide, to move silently, to become ghosts in the day. But the dragon's hunger was not easily satiated. It learned their patterns. It learned where they hid. And one day, it found their home. This was the moment, the point of no return. They couldn't run forever. They had to fight. But how do you fight a living apocalypse with nothing but stones and bones? The answer was not in their muscle or their size. It was in their minds. For the first time, they didn't just react to the dragon. They thought, they planned. They used the very thing the dragon wielded against them. Fire. Not the fire that burned the world, but the fire that sparked in their minds. The fire of strategy. They set a trap, a desperate gamble, a sign of their new intelligence. They were no longer just animals reacting to fear. They were thinking beings, fighting back with their most powerful weapon. The plan worked. The dragon, for all its power, was a creature of brute force. It had no understanding of cunning, of a plan that wasn't built on fear. It was trapped. Not defeated, not destroyed, but it was held. That night, our ancestors did not simply survive. They evolved. They became something more. They learned that their true strength wasn't in their muscles, but in their ability to think, to plan, to cooperate. The dragon was still out there, a threat that would haunt them for generations.
The mountain.
But they had faced it, and they had won. So the next time you look at the stars or stand in the dark, remember this. We are here because 1,000,000 years ago, a group of terrified hominids refused to be prey. They used their minds to fight a monster, and in doing so, they not only survived, they became human.
Keep going, quickly! Run! We have to escape!